And good morning, everyone. This is Bharat Kumar from Extran Solutions Private Limited. I'm working as a principal engineer from the last 3 years. So actually, basically, we are from Extran Solutions. So we will produce the IoT related hardware. Will design the IoT hardwares, and as well as we are going to establish different IoT center of excellences in different various IITs and NITs. Okay, so basically we'll connect everything IoT with all the other modules like IoT with artificial intelligence, IoT with machine learning, these things. Okay, so first of all, I would like to thanks to Mr. Kannan for providing this opportunity, and also I would like to thank all the participants. In spite of this pandemic COVID-19, so most of the people are showing interest in learning new things, and they are encouraging all the online FDPs. So thanks to all the participants. So let me quickly share my screen, and I will go into the session. So let me share my screen here. Right. So before going to session, I would like to introduce my colleague, Mr. Krishan Mohan Patel. He is working as a product engineer from the last 3 years. And yeah, Krishan, can you introduce, just say hi to all the participants?
Yeah, hello everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Krishan. So, yeah. So let us today's session here. It is based on the Raspberry Pi. Mainly, we want to introduce the Raspberry Pi and how it is going to be help to connect with the blockchain. That is the main agenda of this today's first session. So most probably you are bombarding with a lot of information about the blockchain from the last 4 days. So even though just I want to go through this agenda, just I want to give a small introduction to IoT and introduction to blockchain. So this part, especially I would like to show some patience because already you have a already you have a lot of information about the blockchain, but I want to spend just 5 to 10 minutes on the introduction to blockchain, and then we'll discuss about the IoT and blockchain applications. What are the various applications combining the IoT and blockchain? And then we'll introduce the what is Raspberry Pi, and we have developed a board called multifunctional development board, so which is based on the Raspberry Pi itself, which is specially designed for IoT applications along with the AML and blockchain. So we can do a small coordinating applications, not completely pure blockchain or pure AIML. It will connect the IoT with the various modules. So like that, we developed a small board by the Extran Solutions Private Limited. Also, we'll see how Ethereum node will be installed on the Raspberry Pi. There is a small 5 to 10 minutes demo on the how to install Ethereum node on the Raspberry Pi. And then finally, we'll give some IoT demonstrations like how IoT and blockchain both are going to be connected. Okay, so before going to the session, so first of all, I would say some sorry for the participants. Here, some construction work is going on, so you might get some disturbances in between. So please bear because that is not in my hands to avoid that particular thing. Even they started their duty on 9:30. They are competition to me. So I started my duty on 9:30, and they started also their duty on 9:30 only. So they are competing to me. So please forgive me for that. Other than that, if any voice is not clear, please try to inform. Krishan, is my voice is good?
Yes, Bharat, your voice is very clear.
Thank you. So let's go on to the first one. Why we have to go for the blockchain and IoT? See, these are the actually Internet of IoT means Internet of Things. We are connecting various embedded devices, otherwise various devices which are existing outside. We are connecting to these devices to the internet. So the first Internet of Things is going to be introduced in 1991. Sorry, 1998 by Mr. Kevin Ashton. So it is some disruptive technology. That's after Internet of Things, so many applications will comes into picture. So many devices becomes smarter. So all the devices will get some smartness will be added by providing this Internet of Things. Similarly, blockchain is also a tremendous change in the security, so that whatever the transactions that we are doing, so all these transactions are going to be uh, done with a distributed database, and as well as it is giving a tremendous security, as it is providing a attack free transactions. So like this, IoT and blockchain both are going to be given a trend in the a new trend. They create a new trend. So, but there is a small disadvantage in the IoT. So let's see this one. So again, the risk of, see, there is a risk of privacy leakage and sensitive information like a centralized IoT system. See, IoT system is not decentralized. The whatever the data that we want to send to the cloud, generally in the IoT, what happened here? Sensors will send the information to the a central system called cloud. So here this is centralized IoT system. That is a one problem with the IoT. And the second problem is that IoT is not providing any security for the data. IoT is not providing any security for the data. So it is a plain text data. So anyone can hack easily. So of course, the people will comes with some temporary solutions, like they will embed some security hardware chip in the IoT devices. They will embed some hardware security chip in the IoT devices, but it increases the cost. So if you want the security for the IoT, means it is more costly. If you don't want the security, means it's meaningless. The application itself is meaningless. So then the people will think about that, how the things will be good if I combine the IoT and blockchain. So that's what the solution here is, that blockchain based IoT systems solves the issues related to the privacy leakage, and as well as sensitive information to be to the servers, as the servers can access the plain text data from the IoT devices. So like that, they given a solution for the IoT disadvantages and blockchain advantages. So they combine these two, and finally they are evaluated some strong systems. So let's see what is generally how IoT is. Earlier, internet, I can simply say that internet is going to be used only few security critical applications. Like, see, these are the aviations in the aviation system they will use, and these are some satellite use, and also these are some GSM systems. So like that, only for critical applications internet, and they will store the information in a central server. This is before 2005, up to 2005. Of course, uh, uh, IoT is just evaluating at that time. There is no particular trend created in the 2005, but it is slowly evaluating. So first, IoT technology used in critical applications only. So that is nothing but it is a closed environment and centralized network. So every information is going to be centralized into a single server, and also it is a information is not open. This is information is completely closed information. So it's a secret information. But after that, the IoT is evaluated to today's, means almost up to now, uh, still it is using the central server only, but thing is that all the devices are gets opened out, so anyone can access the data, anyone can receive the data, something like that. They provide the access open. Okay, so that is a open access. This comes into picture in the nowadays. But what is the future? So the people are now try to combine the IoT and blockchain, and they want to make next one is a distributed cloud instead of central cloud, which is presently they are following in the IoT. So based on the blockchain technology, they want to convert that into a distributed cloud. So that is what how blockchain and IoT is going to be used. So before going to that, let me quickly enter into what is the IoT here. So IoT is the describes the network of physical objects, whatever will be the physical objects that we are having. So like home appliances like your fridge, your fan, your all the home appliances, TV, refrigerator. So all these things, and also your inside your room, the so all these things will come under some physical objects in a home. Many other applications like industry applications, like medical applications. So many things, whatever be the things are there, those are sensors. So especially whenever you are speaking about the IoT means, we are going to get the environment information through the devices. We will collect the information through the sensors. And these sensors are processed and they will try to store it into a central system called cloud. So that is what briefly IoT means. Means collection of information through the sensors and process that information and try to store this information into a central cloud. So that is basically an IoT is. It is again other definition over here, but simply speaking, collecting the different informations in the form of sensors and process that information and sending this information to the cloud. That is a basically IoT means. Okay, these are the three principles of basic IoT. Things receive the data and act on it. This is the first one. Things means, as already I said, there are so many things environment like refrigerators, outside the cars or any other, or any medical industries, any that are going to be there that receives the data and act on it. So that is nothing but processing the data. And the second point is of this is things that gather the information and send. Things will that gather the information and send it. How they will gather? They will gather the temperature information. They will gather the humidity information. They will gather some environment. They will gather some fire systems. So like that, there are so many sensors available, which will moisture sensor, motion sensor, light sensor. So there are different sensors which are available here. Using these sensors, it will gather the information and send to the cloud. And the last principle is things that perform both functionalities. So IoT is mainly things which perform both these informations. See, receive the data, collect the data, and both collecting and receiving means two-way. Not only sending the information from the environment, it is also collect the information from the cloud, and according to that collected information, it will do some action. So, right, for example, if the temperature rises, I want to do a AC to be on. So AC to be on is a action, that is a output side, whereas temperature reading is a input side. So like that, it will receive the information and also it will act according to the information. It will do some actions. So that is a basically IoT means. So in all these particular place, the cloud will plays a major role in IoT for storing these particular informations. So the things need not to be connected to a single network. It is connected globally. So the devices are connected globally. So anywhere you can access the information and any other place you can receive the information and you can do the controlling action. Means information reading is some place and action is going to be taken some other place, something like that. It's a global environment. So some places we can read the information and some other places we can do the action. So like that, these are the three principles related to IoT. So this is a simple structure. So here directly we are having all the IoT sensors. Here we can apply the AML, and also that here we can able to apply the action. So whenever doing some analysis over here, whenever we are doing some analysis over here, the results are there. Whatever the results are there, we'll do some action. So simply speaking, reading the information, whatever the information, we have to process it, and once it is processed, it will be stored on the central cloud. So once it is stored on the central cloud, do some analytics, means we are bombarding so much of information to the cloud. So what is the result of that information? So all the information is not required. We have to do some analysis on the information, and whatever be the result, based on the result, we'll send the notifications, or we'll switch on the motors, we'll switch on the, we will open the doors, something like that. We can have so many things. We can show the information in a graphical manner, and we do some customer service based on the result. We'll do some customer service, so something like that. We can do so many things here. So directly speaking, this IoT is going to give all embedded applications, like all real-time devices. These are not simple laptop. So these are all the real-time devices which can able to sense some information, and which can able to store it, and it can do some action. Then what is disadvantage in this? From the starting onwards, we are speaking so many things. But what is the disadvantage in this? So the disadvantage is that whenever we are sending the information, there is no security for this information. And at the same time, we are sending every information into the single central cloud. So if I am able to hack this cloud, so what about my information security? And also we are controlling the devices with, we are controlling so many devices. If we are giving a false, if we are doing a hack on here, it's a false controlling. False control means unwanted controlling. So then what happen here? So many things will happen here. For example, if single sensor is going to be hacked, what happen here? That sensor will do some malfunctioning, lot of dangerous things. So some security is missing. That's why still, even though it is established in 1998, but still it is only 20% it is applied onto the different system. But of course, in especially in our India, so this application of IoTs still have a lot of scope. Okay, so to avoid this, see some simple sensors that how to gather the information from the environment. For example, this is light sensor. This is also light sensor. Light sensor means it will gather the information of the light in the environment. Temperature and humidity information. Barometer is used to get the information about the pressure, air pressure. And also there is a gas sensor which will able to detect the different gas leakages, like LPG gas, like your gas cylinder. If your gas cylinder is able to recognize the gas leakages. Similarly, air quality sensors. Is there any carbon dioxide amount and carbon monoxide amount? So many different gases will be available in air. So what are the bad gases that are available? So it will calculate the air quality. And similarly, it is going to have some hydrocarbon and hydro monoxide, HCHO gas recognition. So like that, we have so many sensors available to recognize the different things. Then what is the next one? Sensor. Whatever the information read from the sensors are possible. You can just read the information into it. Then who will process it? So to process the sensors information, we will require some hardware boards. So in that particular hardware boards, one board is that ESP8266. Might be some of you people might have heard about this ESP8266. So if you have any comments, you can please make the comments on the chat box so that I can answer the things directly over here. Okay, so it should not be a continuous, because basically I'm a little bit fast. So please stop me whenever you are not understanding, or otherwise whenever you are want me to stop. Okay. Okay, so these are all different controllers. It will process the information which is coming from the sensors. And similarly, these are the simple Raspberry Pi. So today we are going to see about this particular hardware board. So what is the place importance of this hardware here is it will collect the information from the sensors, and also it will able to store the information onto the cloud. So this is the part of hardware. So it is a medium between the sensors and cloud. Okay, so these are all different hardware. So in this particular place, no need of any introduction about this particular deep introduction about hardwares. Okay, so coming to this blockchain, you already know about that blockchain definitions from the long days. You are seeing that definitions and all. It's a digital ledger, okay, of economic transactions, and that can program to record the just financial transactions, but virtually everything of value. Not only financial transactions, as you know that the this blockchain is a more popular in the 2008 by Satoshi Nakamoto. So a group of people, or otherwise we don't know exactly what that particular things are, but they makes this blockchain concept. And after that, initially it was introduced only in the financial sector, but later it was applicable for the all other sectors also. So like initially it is only Bitcoin blockchain. So now so many other coins are comes into picture, like Ethereum blockchain, something like that. Okay, so these are the major things. That is decentralized power. So all the things are going to be decentralized. There is no centralization system like IoT. And the ledger is public, so it's not closed one, it's open to all. Anyone can access it, anyone can use it. Okay, and immutable to hacks. So the people has to be tremendously, they will not able to hack the particular information, because these are all completely chained, and it is available in a distributed manner. So whenever one information is available in a multiple places, it's very difficult to crack one particular information. So it is immutable to hacks. And also one of the major advantage of this is it is transaction fees are minimized, especially in the financial sectors. So most of the transaction fees are avoided over here. So this is also one of the major advantage of blockchain. I don't want to give much information about this. There are three types of blockchains available: public, permission, and private blockchains. Okay, so what is this public blockchain? So most of things, you know that Bitcoin and Ethereum, these are the two major public blockchains, so that everyone can be a part of this particular. Everyone can everyone can able to add the blocks into the this particular blockchain, and everyone can able to see the information if you are really connected to that particular blockchain. So that is completely public. It is not handled by any single person. It is authorized by so many people. So this is generally distributed, centralized, and decentralized. I don't want to discuss, because all the people are already know about the distributed, centralized, and decentralized. So this is what the concept main we want here for securing my IoT. So see, basically we are from people from the IoT, so we will always think the advantage of the particular domains. It can be help to the IoT. Okay, so that is what today. And coming to the private blockchains, any one particular organization, if they want to organize their information, so they can create one particular private blockchain, so that only particular people can able to access that blockchain. So everyone cannot be able to access that one. So here, this is the example of private blockchain. So many individual organizations, they started their private blockchains already. And you know that the permission blockchain means it is just a combination of private and public. Like here, multiple organizations started the blockchain, but not all the people. So that few people will have the special permissions to do some transactions in the blockchain, and the other people may have or may not have the permission to do the block processing and all these things. So like that permission blockchain, there is some restrictions on the some people, and some other people will be having information. So these are all differently defined, like we are using the Ethereum Bitcoin currency. Otherwise there are something like Hyperledger and R3 or CODA. There are different currency available now. And these other can be categorized as public and closed, public and open. So like whatever the voting system, this is everyone has to be accessed, but at the same time the information should not be open. So then it is public and closed. Here is everyone should able to access, and the information also should be open. So that is currencies and the bettings, video games. So many people are implementing the blockchain over this. Frankly speaking, our day-to-day transactions like Ola or Uber, all these things also almost the concept of blockchain they are following. They are maintaining. Of course, that's not exactly the blockchain, but they're maintaining some distributed servers. Like okay, and here it is a private and closed. So all the critical applications what we discussed earlier, like aviation systems, military systems, law systems, defense systems, all the tax returns will comes under the private and also closed blockchain. So this is not having access to anyone. So the only particular people will have the access. And the private and open. So all the people can access, but no one able to do any modifications to that. So that is called as customer and uh, consumer and producer. So this is a relation between the consumer and producer is generally buyers and sellers. They will have some private and open blockchain systems. Okay. So just I want to final slide. So don't worry about this. I'm really sorry. We'll almost finished theory part. Okay. So this is different access. Anyone, whatever we discussed up to now, access public blockchain is going to be access for anyone. Private is only single organization, and federation is again it is a multiple organization can do these things. One is permissionless. Anyone can anonymous. So it is not. We don't know how many people are here identity, and here it is known identities. Only few people will have the access. Okay. Security wise, all these and transaction speed is very slow here. This is lighter and faster, and this is also lighter and faster. So that means if you want to do a specific application, then we'll go for the private blockchain, otherwise federation blockchain. Okay, so here it is. First thing in the blockchain is Genesis block, and then we'll have the remaining blocks are going to be followed by this particular thing. And every block maintain the previous hash. It is linked through the hash. Main hash of the previous block will be maintained by the second block. So something like that. It will be linked over here. So finally coming to this. Are connected blockchain and IoT here. See, these are all sensors here. All the sensors information I will able to store it into the blockchain, and so that I can maintain a linked transactions. Similarly, all these things are connected to a wireless technologies, and it will be connected to a centralized system. And again, this centralized system may get the information from the blockchain. So that what happened here, that information will have get some security over here. So it will get some security over here. So we no need to worry about that particular things. Okay, these are some use cases how where IoT and blockchain will be used. Mainly it is used in supply chain logistics. So it will keep track of the things from the starting whenever the production starts generating the things. So from the product area, so where the production will be happen here in this particular place to ending whenever it is reach to the customer. So here to here all the transactions will be tracked. So these informations are going to be tracked, and a same system will be maintained by the blockchain. Then what is the IoT here? So all these informations are sensed by IoT. For example, tracking, we will use the GPS system. So whether the products are moving in a right direction or not, in a right time or not, whether the products are in good condition or not. So these are all things, these are all information we will get from the sensors. So getting the information from the devices will be possible by the IoT. So once we get the information, we'll store this information into the blockchain for security. So these are the things will combine in the here. Similarly, it is going to be used in the automotive industry. And if people don't worry about this, we have a small demo. So there again, here Mr. Christian will explain clearly about how these things are going to be happen. So here, just for your clearance. I'm dealing that. We are every stage we are having some sensors and we are getting some information, and all these informations are going to be stored into the blockchain. So that is what the main aim of this particular IoT and blockchain. So this is again a small vehicle monitoring system. So I think we may have some demo on this. And similarly, this is agri-food supply chain, but in the food system also. So that's what I'm saying, that starting from crop irrigation. So starting from crop irrigation, when crop has started, whether it is cropped in a right time or wrong time, whether the crop is affected with any diseases or it is in good condition, and once it is production, so whether it is reached to the different distributions in the right time. So because food means we have to be very careful, the food has to be reached in a right time to the place, otherwise the food will be damaged. So we have to have a proper care of the food. So all this caring will be taken care by the sensors, and once these sensors are going to be get the information, we'll keep track of these information in the blockchain. So that is the we are making use of IoT here, this part IoT, and this part what we are having different applications of your blockchain. So just give me a 1 minute break, so that is there any questions for you? I'm not break means I'm not going out. Just is there any questions up to here from the participants? Is there any questions up to here?
So if you have any question, you can put in the chat box, so I can put the answers also. So we will use some
Yeah. You can any queries are there, you can post it in the chat box. I'm viewing the chat box also here. Okay, I can answer your questions immediately. Possible to small recap of PPT. Sir, can you explain a healthcare use case? So that's what, for example, if we take medical applications, for example, the patient tracking, so that otherwise medicines. So medicines are going to be start from the industry. They will start manufacturing, and the medicine will have some expiry date, and where it is going. Means like whether the medicine is tracked clearly, that whether this medicine is reaching the particular places properly or not, whether it is reaching in time or not. So like that, everything will be tracked over the medical system, and same time patient monitoring system. So all the patients are going to be tracked by the information. So like that, we can we create our own blockchain for supply chain applications? Yes, we have a small demo on that. I think by seeing the demo, you can understand those things. Okay, right. Anyhow, so let me enter into the next topic. That is, I want to create a Ethereum node in the Raspberry Pi. So till now, I think you might have created so many times that Ethereum node created on the laptop. Might be you have seen the steps and all those things. But what is my intention here is that I want to create the Raspberry Pi as a Ethereum node. So what is the advantage of this? So by creating the Raspberry Pi as a Ethereum node, we can have two advantages. That is, this is a mini laptop. It's a very small, smallest laptop that can be have a capability to process as a Ethereum node. And the second advantage is that it can able to send some information through the IO pins. Through these particular GPIO pins, it will have some capability to read the sensor information. So these are two advantages. One is it is a very tiny in size. We can carry anywhere. Our node will be carried anywhere. And second advantage is that less cost. And the third advantage is that it can be able to connect to the so many other environmental sensors. So many sensors we can connect, and we can create some applications, some embedded applications on the Raspberry Pi, and also we can able to connect this information to the blockchain. So that is the advantage of Raspberry Pi. So Raspberry Pi is a credit card size controller, and there are different variations available in the Raspberry Pi here. So this is called Raspberry Pi 4. The latest version of your Raspberry Pi is Raspberry Pi 4. What is the advantage of this Raspberry Pi 4 is that it is almost comes with a 8 GB RAM. So we are in the demo we are going to use a Raspberry Pi 4 for you. So it is a comes with a 8 GB. So generally normal laptops will also have a RAM of 8 GB only. So means it is almost equal to your laptop. So it is going to be have 8 GB RAM, and it is having a, but the processor speed is a little bit less compared to the laptops. That is, it is only 1.5 gigahertz. It is only 1.5 gigahertz processor speed, but it have all other options like we can able to connect the camera, and also we can able to connect all the sensors over here. We can able to connect all the sensors, and we can able to connect keyboard, mouse, and all these things here, and we can able to connect a Ethernet connection like for internet. Otherwise it will be used as a Wi-Fi device. Here this is a Wi-Fi chip, so that we can connect it as a Wi-Fi device. So like that, so many advantages are there with the Raspberry Pi. So this is the pin diagram that because we are connecting some sensors means we should have to know these are the pin diagram actually we have here. So there are totally 40 pins available over here. Out of 40 pins, there are some power pins available. So like 10 power pins are available here, and 2 pins are reserved for the future. These are the 2 pins are reserved for the future. So that sorry, 8 plus 12. So totally 12 pins are for power, and the 2 pins are reserved. So except that 14, all the 26 remaining out of 40, 14 are power and reserved. So remaining 26 pins will be used as a IO connections. Means we can connect up to 26 different sensors. Otherwise it is more than 26 different sensors we can able to connect to the Raspberry Pi. So that is the capacity of the Raspberry Pi. So these are some technical details. If anyone is interested, you can please go through it. Okay, so these are some technical details of your Raspberry Pi. Okay, if anyone interested, please go through it. And this is the board that what I spoke earlier. This is the board that what I'm using for the this particular demos. What are the demos we are giving here? So this is the place where we have the Raspberry Pi. So this is the place where we have the Raspberry Pi, and these are all onboard sensors. So we can have all the sensors here. What is the intention of this board is that we can create some prototypes over here. So whatever the things they are asking, like supply chain management prototype, or otherwise any medical prototypes. So like that, some prototypes we can able to create. Prototype means just proof of concept, so that whether it is work properly or not. So something like that we can create something like that, and we can connect to the Raspberry Pi, and Raspberry Pi will be able to connect to the blockchain. So here, that is the intention of this particular board. So we designed this particular board for the IoT, AML, and blockchain applications. Okay. So let me quickly enter into that how to create Ethereum node on the Raspberry Pi. So for a particular this particular purpose, what is the objective is that we have to build a development environment to the learn about the blockchain principles, and we have to how to set up a private Ethereum blockchain on the Raspberry Pi 4 device, how to create the accounts, how to send the dummy balance to the accounts, and how to perform the transaction between the accounts. But before moving to forward, I want to confirm one thing is that the default Raspberry Pi is not capable of doing the mining. Once again, I'm repeating here, the default Raspberry Pi is not capable of doing mining. So then you can immediately ask, so then if it is not able to do the mining, what is the advantage for us? But we can add some external hard disk, like some nowadays we are getting all SATA disks, SSD. Okay, SATA disks are coming that. So if you are add some external SSD device of 1 terabyte, so that your Raspberry Pi is perfectly works like a complete blockchain node. So once again, I'm repeating here. Whenever with the blockchain, if you're able to connect a 1 terabyte external hard disk or external SSD disk, so if you connect this disk to the Raspberry Pi, then your Raspberry Pi will completely work like a complete Ethereum node. But unfortunately, presently I don't have the SSD device. So except mining, just we'll go through the demo of up to creating the accounts and giving some dummy balance, and also we'll see how to do some transactions. Of course, these transactions are not going to be mined here, but we'll show what is the process to do the transaction. So these are the things required for doing all these things. Therefore, I'm really sorry. Okay, so we have a 32 GB micro SD card, keyboard and mouse and display and internet connection. Okay, so first step we have to install the Ethereum node onto the blockchain. Means first we have to install the get client. So as you know that, I think most of you people might have know up to now what is get. Here it is go Ethereum client. So if you have to install first go Ethereum client, you are ready to create your Ethereum node. So let me show you that what is the steps here to create go Ethereum client. So these are the link here, get.ethereum.org. So here you can get your this particular get file will be available over here. Some zip file it is available. So please unzip the file and you can enter into that folder and specially take this get file. So this is very important file for you, so that whenever if you are able to get this get file into the Raspberry Pi, so your Raspberry Pi is ready for the creating the Ethereum node. So this is the first step, that we have to install the get into the Raspberry Pi. So once whether this is moved into the local environment like user local bin, same like your Linux environment, how you worked on that, same like your Linux environment. This Raspberry Pi will work same like a Linux environment. Okay. So here in the /user local bin, you are going to get this get command. So once you get, you can check whether it is properly attached or not. We can check it as by get version. By typing the get version, you will get the version here. So these are all the demos. So let me quickly enter into the demo. So I'm stopping displaying these particular PPTs here, and I want to enter directly into the Raspberry Pi. So I want to show the demo directly onto the Raspberry Pi here. So how to show the demo here? Let me connect to the Raspberry Pi. So here my Raspberry Pi is actually, it is available somewhere here. I want to connect to Raspberry Pi here. So for that particular purpose, I have to open VNC Viewer. There is a software called VNC Viewer. I have to open this VNC Viewer to connect to my Raspberry Pi. So let me connect quickly. So I'm opening my Raspberry Pi here and I'm connecting over. So once you are connected to Raspberry Pi, you can see this. This is my screen of Raspberry Pi. This is not my laptop screen. This is the laptop. This is the screen of my Raspberry Pi. So let me minimize all these things, so that this is the screen of your Raspberry Pi. So here, let me show whether I install the get command or not. Where is the get command available? We copied the get command into /user local lib. So let us go for here. It is user local bin. So here get is available. So get is available is nothing but we install the get. So you have seen already, you have seen the process. You have to download the zip file and you have to unzip it, and after that you have to copy that get file into the Raspberry Pi. So these are the first steps that you have to do to perform your installation process. So once you perform the installation of this particular get file, next we have to go for the next one here. Let me clear this. So I think this font is very, very small, I think. So let me maximize this, edit, preferences. So let me increase the font to 24. Yeah, I think now it is fine here. Okay. Yeah. So now let me quickly create one directory for us. So what we are doing here is that we are downloaded the get file into the Raspberry Pi, and I want to create a Ethereum node. So for that particular purpose, I want to create a one test folder, so that I don't want to mix these files with my existing files. I don't want to mix that. So that's why I'm just creating some new file over here. So after that, I want to enter into that folder. Okay, and after that I want to create one more folder called data. Okay, and after that I want to create one more folder called logs. So this data is nothing but all the transaction data is going to be stored into this particular folder, and similarly all the transaction success information or failure information, generally we can call it as a logs. So all the logs information will be stored into the this logs folder here. Let us try to create one file called 00.log. So that what happened here, whatever be the logs are there, that are going to be entered into this 00.log. So what is this log file? Just it will able to store the information of whether whatever the actions we are doing, whether it is success or failure. So that log information will be available in this particular file. So let me finish this. Okay, now let us check what is the get version I'm using here. Get version. So I'm using a get version of 1.9.20. This is the latest version that I downloaded from the earlier site, whatever I shown to you. So from that particular site I downloaded this latest version. So if anyone is interested, they can download the latest version over here. And this is my version of get. So let me clear this. And the next step that we have to simply create some accounts. See, before creating the node and all these things, I want to create some accounts for that. So for that, we have to write get which I want to create the accounts in my directory what I have created earlier. So what is the directory that I have created earlier? test3/data. So in the inside the test3, I have a folder called data. So here only I want to create the accounts. So here you can ask the question why you are creating accounts here only, means I want to separate the information of this blockchain from the my existing files. That's why I created special folders for this particular blockchain node. So this is the my node test3. Test3 is my node now. So I'm creating accounts into this. Oh, sorry, it is account, not accounts. It is account new. So let's come to here. So it is asking for, always it will ask for the password. Please enter some password, and please remember, try to remember the password. So as soon as you enter the password, it will create an account for you. So you can observe that here. I think this process you might have done earlier, but just for your confirmation, I'm just showing this. So this is address of my account. So as you know, that is this is a public address given by that, and along with it will produce some private key. So always try to keep a backup of your private key. Don't forget this. So always try to, whenever you want to make this Raspberry Pi as a real node, means you want to use it for the real application, then you have to remember this account number, and as well as private key. Always keep backup of this private keys. See, whenever you want to do some transactions, we can't do with the one account. So let me create one more account with the same command. Let me enter once again, so that I will create the second account here. I want to create I want to give some password. See, the password may be same for all the accounts, or maybe different for the different accounts. So again, I'm creating one more account over here. So one more account is created. See this one. This is again a different account number is given for that, and this is a account number related to this particular, private key related to this particular account. So now, once accounts are created, now what I have to do? So generally, once the account is created, we will connect to the. We have two options. Either we can connect to the direct main blockchain. So that main blockchain we can directly connect to using call get hyphen hyphen sync mode. We can have something called sync mode light. I think you might have know about that. There are three types of modes are available in the blockchain. That is a fast mode, light mode, and full mode. If you want to make this Raspberry Pi as a full mode, you have to connect your external hard disk. Until unless you are not able to connect your external hard disk, it is not able to do any node, because whenever you connect it as a full node, it will try to synchronize with the main blockchain. So whenever it is trying to synchronize with the main blockchain, the memory capacity is not sufficient for the Raspberry Pi. So in that case, it is not able to synchronize your main blockchain. So that's the problem with this particular one. So okay, so here we have to make some cache memory here. Let us take just one random number, and we can connect to the console. See, if you connect like this, see, mining is not supported in the light mode. So that is a problem that in the light mode, mining is not supported, but it is able to synchronize to the synchronization started here. See, block synchronization started, so that we are now able to see the information of the external blockchain, but we are not able to do any mining over here in the light mode. But if you want to make Raspberry Pi into full mode, you have to connect some external hard disk, at least 1 TB of external hard disk you have to connect to the Raspberry Pi. That is a 1 TB of hard disk. If you connect, you can easily connect to the external Raspberry Pi. Okay, and now I want to stop this particular light mode. Okay, I want to stop this light mode here. Just press Ctrl C, it will stop the light mode over here. Okay, interrupt mode. Yeah, now light Ethereum is stopped over here. Now I want to create a dummy, accounts with some dummy balance. See, because in the light mode, we are not able to get the mining. Until unless you are not able to do the mining, we are not able to get the balance. So for just purpose, for just demo purpose, for just see the how these particular things are going to be available. So for seeing that, we should have to add some dummy balance. So for adding for dummy balance, we are going to see these particular things. For this particular accounts, we have to open a Genesis file. I think you might have heard about this one, genesis.json. We have to create a genesis.json file where we have to mention some configuration of your account, whatever the node that we are creating. We have to mention some configuration, and we have to mention some nonce number. I think you know that because we are not doing any mining, because this nonce is going to be given by the, after mining we'll get the nonce number. But here in this case we are giving some predefined wallet, means predefined some balance. We are giving the predefined balance. So for that we have to mention some nonce number, and similarly we have to mention the gas limit, means what is the maximum gas limit that one can able to do the mining, and what is the difficulty level, means whether it is a very easy level or difficulty level to solve your problem. So these are all different specifications that we have to mention in the JSON file, and then we have to give the information over here. So this is the way that how we can able to do. So let me move back to here. So instead of following that, let me directly do some existing one. This is one existing one that I'm showing here. So this is how I can initialize the JSON file. What do you mean by this? Init. So this is my get command, and in the extrans folder, this is my existing folder. I'm not creating for the new one. I'm just creating for the existing one. extends and test2. I'm initializing this node with some dummy balance. What is this dummy balance that we are getting from here is that from the bin. So from this particular JSON file, whatever the JSON file we are creating here. So with this JSON file, we'll get the dummy balance. So let me show the existing one because we have to show some other demos. So let me quickly finish this. Yeah. So this is the format that how we can initialize the things. See here, you can see. Yeah, I'm very sorry. Yeah, here this is the command. See, we are giving some identity for our node. That is our node name is local test node, and we are giving some RPC connection. That is nothing but remote procedure control. That HTTP. We are giving some HTTP access for our node, and similarly we are mentioning in which directory we are creating this node, and this is the default port for our creating a node 30303. So this is the default node that to create a node, and similarly we are giving that these are the different database APIs, like to do some transactions we have to require some APIs. So these are all the different APIs that we are installing along with the whatever the local node we are creating. And most importantly, we are giving some network ID here, and second one is that we are making this custom genesis.json. So once again I'm repeating here why we are using this custom genesis.json is that we are going to use this custom genesis for creating the dummy balance in the existing accounts. So accounts are existing, and then we have to create some dummy balance. Okay, so for that we have to make use of this genesis file. And I already earlier told that whatever the information that is going to be there, it will be entered into log files. So that's why we are using the log files. So let me quickly enter this. So okay, now let's enter into the console. I'm very sorry, these are all earlier commands. Let me enter into the console mode. See, now we created the local node, but I want to do some transactions. So for that particular purpose, we should have to enter into some console mode. So lastly, the thing will be changed here, console. So whenever you enter into the console mode, we can do all the operations. Let me enter into the console mode here, and let me check what are the accounts available for me. ETH not. So these are the different accounts that I created earlier. So 1, 2, and 3 accounts are available over here. And similarly, we can see that balance. How to see the balance here? Balance of ETH dot accounts of 0. See, this is the balance that because in my Raspberry Pi doesn't have the capability to do the mining, so that's why I given some predefined balances by making that Genesis file. So in the Genesis file, I clearly mentioned that here it is for first account. See here, for first account I've given a balance of 1337 ethers. 1337 ethers, and again for the second I have given the balance of 2337 ethers. See here it is in hexadecimal format, but here it is displaying in the decimal format. It is here it is displaying in the decimal format, and there it is in a hexadecimal format. So similarly we can see the balance of the second account also. So like that we can able to do so many things over here. So this is the way how we can create the Ethereum node in the Raspberry Pi. So you may ask that what is the outcome of this demo. So I'm clearly saying that we can able to install the Ethereum node into the Raspberry Pi, and we can connect to the main blockchain in the 3 different modes, either light mode, either full mode, either fast mode. If you connect the Raspberry Pi in the full mode, then you can easily synchronize to the public blockchain and you can do the transactions, and these are all things will be possible whenever you connected some external hard disk to the Raspberry Pi. Point to be note here, whenever you add the external hard disk to the Raspberry Pi, we can do all the transactions. So that is how I want to stop this small demo over here. And before going to the next demos, I would like to introduce Mr. Krishan. So he is going to be show 1 or 2 information about the demos, and then we'll come back to the demos over here. So meanwhile, is there any questions?
Yeah.
Is there any questions from the participants?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Yeah, Krishna. Yeah. You are creating address in Node, right?
Yes, sir.
Why you are doing like that? May I know the reason?
Sorry, I didn't. Why means?
Why means if you are doing any account creation in your Node,
Okay.
if anybody connecting your Node, they
Okay.
can access your accounts, right? F3 dot ETH dot personal dot unlock. The brute force method will occur, right? They can
Yeah.
enter the password to try to unlock your account, and then they can get your balances, right?
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying, that here it is a not complete full node. So whenever you are entered into a full node, it's not that easy to enter into your accounts and get that particular
Not even
balance.
not even full node. If you are started your light node, also you are creating a address, right? You can create your account in a node.
Yeah, I can create account. All 3 different
Whether
accounts are
it's a light
created.
node, fast node, whatever it is, you can create a account in your node. So
Okay.
doing that, if
Okay.
somebody connected you with your node,
How they
they
can
can
how they
your
connect to my how they connect my node?
if you are starting a private network, you will enable over the Wi-Fi only, right?
Oh,
Like
that,
local network.
that's what I'm
If I
saying.
am
That
connected with your local network, I can see your addresses. F3 dot ETH dot personal dot unlock method will be available. Why? Because you are enabling that personal API, right?
yeah. See, here for demo purpose, I did these things like this. But for in a real time, you're going to once you are going to synchronize with the public blockchain. So because I can create my accounts after synchronizing with the public blockchain. So in that particular case, even though if you have the Wi-Fi, if you track the Wi-Fi, these networks and also not able to crack my particular passwords and all these things. See, if you know the account, that is the first case. Second one, first of all, you are not able to allow into the Wi-Fi. That is the first one. Second one, if you crack the Wi-Fi, then you enter into the inside that, and every account will have some password. And also, if you do the transactions and all these things, we should have to have the private key. So all these things are not easily provided for any other people.
Yeah,
So whenever
that
you
is
connect it to the
right. But here you are just in this node. No need to no need private key for unlock the account, right? Once you are unlocked your account, you can transfer, right? If you are connecting with any public node, you can get the clear details, right? You have to enable the code.
see,
My voice is audible.
Then
yeah.
you can see
That's
that
why.
admin that PS, you can get the peer details.
See, that's why I'm saying that the private blockchains are going to be accessed by particular people so that they can provide their own security. So until unless providing the
My voice
security,
is audible.
voice is
Sorry.
audible.
Yeah, can I clarify this thing? So what is
Yeah. Yeah. You can
kind
answer.
of
You can answer.
so basically, Professor,
Your voice is very.
my voice
Krishan,
is audible.
yeah, your voice is not clear.
My voice is not clear. Now it's
Yeah.
okay.
No, still it is
Please
not
be
clear.
loud.
My
Please
voice
be
is
loud. Little.
can you increase the sound of this is
No. My doubt is rises on you are connecting your node into public. You said that your sentence. That's why I asked. If you are connecting with any public node, you can see the admin.ps. What are the nodes we are synchronized with?
Okay.
This is what we have faced in mainnet. We started a mainnet with our company.
All the public nodes we can do, all the public nodes we can do like that only. If you are really concerned about that, all the public nodes we can do like that. If your question is right.
Okay, we will do one thing. We'll go for the next demo. Then might I will show the few things that might be clear. So if my voice is clear, can I put it?
No, your voice is not clear, Krishan. Your voice is not
My
clear.
voice, my voice is not clear or it's low.
No, it's not clear.
But now it's okay.
No,
Hello.
still we are facing some problem.
Here also, just type that admin.ts. You can get the peer details if any
See,
nodes connected.
okay, I will.
In
Yeah.
public
But
blockchain, we are created one mainnet, okay, a mainnet node. In that mainnet node, we see the logs. Somebody try to unlock your personal accounts. There is some for mining purpose. We enabled mining, right?
yeah,
We
yeah.
added Coinbase. They
Yes,
are trying
yes.
to access that Coinbase.
See, that's all
So they
depends
have
on
to do some
how
process.
that's all depends on how you provide your Genesis file here. See, generally we'll not do all these things in a original one. So in the original one, we'll give only basic Genesis block. We are not going to create any other these things and all these things. So we'll
In
just
private
provide
blockchain
the
only you are going to create a Genesis. That is not a problem. Genesis file you can enter any Ethereum address, right? You no need to
yeah.
create address. That is
Okay.
some. You can give any Ethereum address, right? If you are giving any addresses, you can
Yeah.
get the balance, right? This is just like ported of Ethereum, right?
Sorry, I'm really not getting your question that whether you are comparing this with the original public blockchain.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, okay, okay.
Otherwise, we'll see one thing. We'll see the that query in the last. We'll discuss again. Okay. So because we are pending with some demos, so let me quickly connect the Christian over here. Definitely, we'll discuss in the last. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll just presently we'll postpone that and we'll discuss it later. So
Yeah.
Christian, can you able to connect?
Yeah. Hello, Bharat. Is my voice is clear now?
Yeah, voice is clear now.
Okay, great. So, my demo is two things that is funding, banking, and one is
Sorry,
about private.
sorry, Krishan. I think your voice is not clear.
My voice is not
Yeah, it is breaking.
breaking.
So I stopped sharing here. Can you please share your screen?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Are you able to?
Yeah. We are getting that. We are getting that.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
my voice is
we are able.
clear.
We are able to see your screen, but your voice is a little bit breaking.
Breaking or it's a low.
It's completely low. I think it's um, you're
Okay.
connected with headphones. Can you please remove
Yeah, no,
that?
no, no, no. That is my system.
No, we are getting low voice. So can you connect with headphones or earphones?
So this voice is not
I'm sorry.
this voice is not audible.
Voice is a little bit breaking.
Yeah, this is not.
No, not audible. It's a little bit breaking.
Yeah, now it's okay.
Yeah, now it's okay. Little bit okay. Yeah, you can continue. That if it is any problem, I will inform.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Okay.
Sorry for technical. Let's start with So I hope my voice is clear. Just see yes or no in the chat box so I can start my very interesting demo that is a 55 using block.
Sorry. Anyhow, I think your voice is a little bit disturbing. Is my voice is clear for you?
Yeah, your voice is clear for me.
And then, but your voice is not that clear.
Might be participants, can you tell me yes or no, my voice is clear or not?
Whether it is for only for me or any other participants, can you please confirm whether your voice is
Not
clear?
clear. Not clear, sir.
Not clear.
Yeah.
So can I go back to the
Okay. No. Hello.
yeah, hello?
Yeah, can you please respond?
Yeah, hello.
But your voice is breaking. Can you please try to check your internet connection and these things? But we are not able to hear your voice.
First, I will connect directly from my let me restart.
Yeah. Sorry for the interruption. I think he is facing some internet issues. He will be come back. So that he will just explain the what are the demos that we are going to do, and after that we'll see the demos over here. Okay. So just give me 2 minutes so that he will be do the necessary arrangements.
Okay.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, little bit okay.
Okay. So we start with something one then. Can we start?
Yeah, you can start.
Okay. So sorry for interrupting. Actually, basically, this demo is showing the integration of the Internet of Things and blockchain. And I hope in the past 4 days we learn more about the blockchain, like Ethereum and other. I saw that there is a contract there. So next year, like all the things you learn more about that. What is the contract? What is the mining? How the what is the proper concepts are there, but how we can use all these concepts to build applications. So, can you mute your not okay. So basically, these are the things. So basically, right now you already saw that first demo. Basically, what I want to try to show. So how can we do the transaction? So I will also ask you about that, right? So how the transaction is working. So in one account like that, in the one person, why is so what is the purpose is that how can clear the transaction? How can we receive the money at one account to the other account? It might be just a use the example of your savings account, right? So in one bank you can create multiple savings accounts, right? So in one bank. So same like the same one platform you can create multiple accounts as well as. So what is the purpose? Why we are creating here on the Verify? Why we downloaded the information more over there? imagine that tomorrow my like a smart car is going to the taking the petrol from the petrol pump, and here is giving some 1 liter gas, something like we have an electrical car, we just okay, 1 liter. So how can we do the transaction like this? Also transaction. How can we like our tank of okay 1 liter petrol is still inside the like a tank, and automatically how can we do it? So just imagine that situation. So in that situation, automatically sensor will detect that particular information, and those information sent to the data to the like a nearby machine who is provided us, and every machine have a unique IP count address definitely, then only they can do the transaction, right? So that is the basic concept here. So I want to just make a little flavor. It's not a full fledged program, but yeah, just I want to give a small flavor here. So I also transport on the side. Only we need to do lot of processing required and lot of things you have to do for the Raspberry Pi. So these are the steps actually, and here actually the Ubuntu Linux, but already we explore also the Raspbian OS as well. So whatever is going over the like a product is going to stay, right? That is the actually Raspbian OS. That is the same like a Windows, right? In the laptop we are using Windows OS, same like in the Raspberry Pi, there's a Raspbian OS there, and that is the visual effect what is here. And yeah, these are all our components is integrated with the IoT development kit. That is UART, security display, or verify people, Bluetooth, file master, file and gas sensor. These all are the components which once you buy this IoT, some IoT development kit, and you get all the accessories including this kit. So this is very good development platform. So you can develop the internet of IoT and blockchain infrastructure over it, and you can use some parts that you can see here. Okay, so I hope my voice is clear now, right? First, yeah, my voice is clear. I hope so. Hello.
Hello. You can
Yeah.
continue, sir. Still, your voice is having some problem, but anyway, you can continue.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Now, this is the basic model, but what I understand the real problem is basically once people are going to buy this car. So this is just a take example. I am a user basically, and I want to purchase any second-hand car. So what will happen? What is the scenario? So we don't know about the later. I don't know exactly. So how many times that car is really registered, or that car is really which part is damaged, the part is really genuine or not. That is a big lot of confusion. How can we all those data, what is happening in the future, once purchase a car from like a Tata Motors or like it's already invented. So it's a particular car, then how can we create those data inside the blockchain? So once in the consumer, like okay, third party, second party, third party, once you buy it, then all information is being stored inside the block, then people can understand, okay, all the things are stored. Now once I'm going to purchase the car, I will just use the interest product ID or something like that. Then it will give the all details of that car, and you can say, okay, how many times things happen, how many services happen, something like that. And after that, they can assume that okay, all the things is working. Now we can, what is the, what will be the actual value of this car, something like that. We can. So here in this area, basically our main goal is set up the experience environment development, and after that deploy the smart contract. If I saw that one lot of one person particular on the smart contract, so I hope you know that what is a smart contract. So basically, you know that, right? Smart contract is a contract with the self like a deciding the thing, right? So then it will be contracted to when it will be work. So each and everything will be work at the time period, like whatever the time is given inside that, it will automatically be. That's why it's the name is like smart, right? So it will no need to be manually intervention or something like that. It will automatically execute. Okay. So for machine services part and every contract will be water. Okay. Third part is that develop a simple way to interact with the equivalent smart contract to display machine maintenance details. So we have a simple use web that is playing here, and after that you can see how transactions happen. Even you can visualize that transactions also. Even I will show in the Canap group that is small server here, so that all blocks will be like okay, this is the benefit block, this is the other block column listed here. So here you can see let me choose one so basically here I took the temperature. So how can we make it, by using the sensor, how can we do this can use it automation part we can do. And this is the magnetic switch here. So here you can see this is the temperature sensor and this is the temperature sensor. You can see this is the temperature sensor, this is the magnetic switch. And in the temperature sensor, just take the example of a grill. Here I am taking the example of a grill, this part. This is my will. So what will happen? How can I recognize my will is got damaged? So obviously, suppose here in the every will there is a ball bearing, right? So if the bearing is like a broken or something will happen, definitely temperature will increase at a particular threshold value, right? So particular threshold value will increase. So what we can do, we can this temperature sensor will keep it here, and once it will across the threshold value, then automatically notification it will be stored inside the blockchain. Once it will happen in the 6 times and 3 times or something like that, it will store the value inside the one block. So similarly, and this is the first owner, this value will also be stored inside the block. Okay, this is the first owner and this is the happened and it is connected to the one half to the other half. You can see this is right now and one half is the other half. And so once the accident will happen, then again it will damage again this part will be also inside the block. Okay, these things are happening. But here I am only taking the example of the temperature sensor. So forget about the thing. I'm just taking the value for the temperature sensor. So just but similarly, you can add the many more sensors over here. Correct? Okay, fine. So let's start the like again. This is the servicing center. The servicing center again something will happen. Again, go to all details will be stored inside the blockchain. And again, if like a ticket owner you want to use the car, then again this information will be stored inside the block. So you can see here all the information is storing inside the block, right? Here, again this information is storing inside the block here. Again this information, servicing information storing inside the block here. Correct? So here what is the concept? So all the information. So that is the importance of the blockchain, right? So we are storing because blockchain is stored because it is using the electric cryptography algorithms and that is the meaning not no one can hack all those things, no one can gather the information, no one can manipulate those data. So that's why we are using the blockchain. And we know that in the internet of there is a very problem that is very less secure using the internet of things. Basically, the IoT and blockchain we can merge it and definitely increase the really good experience for the future. That's the security wise as well as the performance. Yes. So these are the features we can enable the customer to machine transactions without any trusted intermediary. The integration of validation services, job systems into the cloud environment, as well as automating the manual machine maintenance, diagnostic tasks, and others, providing the distributed, secure, clear, laser transactions, assets, and inventory records. So all the things will be stored inside that. Okay, so we start the basically schematic diagram. How it will work actually? So what I did, I have already been aware about that IoT development kit. This is my IoT development kit. And inside that, actually temperature sensor is there. We have a temperature sensor. So here I put the magnetic and temperature sensor. I will give the example of the temperature sensor. Okay. So once the temperature sensor will reach the threshold, suppose I set the threshold value like 30. So So once it will reach over it, then it will do the transaction over the data and it will stored inside that. Now, you can see, okay, it started the damage, now service center. So also, use the service center. So what is the advantage? There are multiple advantages. So, insurance company, car insurance company, also make sure that, yeah, if a really car is got damage, if an accident, this car is really, everything, how many times it happen. So anyone can track first those data, one those data is those data are blocked. Right? So here you can see this is the particular screen and the particular is the connected as a user. So user can utilize all those data. Is it clear? Okay. So okay, fine. Okay. Okay, I will try to write. I will try to write all of this. So just focus on that diagram because this diagram is very important and we have to just to visualize the concept. So this is the multi-function IoT. I am not going to discuss all this because already you know all that part. So basically, this is the machine ID details. Once I will run the demo, then you can see this. So this is the machine ID details, and this is my contact address. So if anyone wants to add my ticket slide application, so through this contact address, they can join us and they can see all the details. Okay, so they can see all the details. So just you can see here, this is the time set up. So basically, what time all the things is there. This is my machine ID. So you can see the machine ID can create this ID like for your bill, for your carburetor, for your any other parts, right? So you can give your machine ID so you can identify, okay, this machine got damaged at that particular point of time, right? So here this is the all details you can see. This is the all details, right? So machine ID 123, machine carburetor, this is the machine, this is the owner manufacturer with the parameter and all the things. Here you can register your machine. If you want to add more parts, then you can register here. So that is the good thing. You can add here. And this is the machine name you can add over here. And this is the purchasing date. So which date you purchase and who is the manufacturer, you can use here. Okay. So this all data will store inside the blockchain. How it will look like? Once the demo you run, then you can see here. So this is the other example, basic model of agri-food supply chain. I will discuss this one later. So this is the so basically how to set up the environment. So that is the main part. So just visualize this environment details here. So this is my environment. You can see here. This is my IoT development kit, and this is connected with the JSON test application. So that is called Ethereum JSON test application. This library you have to install over the reference site. And, Ethereum that is a short form is this JSON. This is JSON application. This is JSON application. In Google, so you get it. What is that? What is this library? So here you can see that is on our state activity install over it, and after that only this is capable to interact with the web video, like now this is the one part. This is the hardware part. Okay, so this is the one part, and the second part is you can do the website, right? The website is two things, fronting and backing. That if you have a background in the computer science and you develop some web application, then you can know about it. There is a two parts inside the application. That is the front part and that is the backing part, right? So there you can see the fronting specifically we are using their HTML, CSS, React, with all the and if you remember that is a smart contract here, that is the written solidity language. Smart contract usually we are writing the solidity language, other languages are not but it's we are using solidity language. So you can see this one. So in the backend, basically, get out the solidity contract and the Node.js, which is the one that is server, and Truffle framework we are using for communication. And full thing you are getting the fund, so that is the first thing is hardware part, which is the normal website. So all the data, whatever the things will happen on the IoT development kit, it will do the transaction over the decentralized application. And this is the Ethereum node, and this is the Ethereum world computer. So this can go here. So this all information being here and store the value, and each of each revenue person is the value. Now the question is, what is the node base? Now if you don't hear about the node base, that is the node base is an open source server environment. So there is an configuration your server by using node base. And after that, you can see the version platform is there for the Windows, Linux, Unix, Mac OS, and others are also available. Node.js is uses the JavaScript on the server. So you need to little bit aware about that, how to write the JavaScript code. That is very important because in this application, actually, lots of things are there. Like you have to put in that front-end development, back-end development, and you have to knowledge about the hardware as well. So then only you can create the whole setup and you can create some type of application. You can only use Truffle. I told that Truffle framework. What is that? So Truffle is the development involving testing framework and asset pipeline of Ethereum. They need to meet the right as an Ethereum developer. So basically, this is the only testing here of so this is sending the transaction, the value here and here. So this is basically working like a pipeline. This is the word which is that is working as a pipeline. With just Truffle. So you can build a smart contract compilation, and you can do the compilation over there, unity, deployment, and binary management approach, which is the Truffle framework. That is why it is really important while doing the development for this application. Right? And the third one is the installation. So installation part, basically you have to download, So once you have this programming idea then on Node.js, right, then you have to install first Node.js, right, to know how to install Node.js. And after that, you have to give that Node package manager, right? So always you have to install. If you want to download the internal library, then you have to install this. So install over. Correct? So after that, you can see this is the full page here. So you can see this is the different type application UI, this is the RPC interface, this is the virtual network interface, and this is the virtual machine contract, and these all are the contract type for the full page application. So another is the React app. So I told right, React is now very popular because it's very lightweight and it's very easy to write a code and important things. So this is basically scaling the movie files and components, third party libraries from directly download this. So detecting the common development, customizing output for production as well. So this is the one other tool what we are using, that is Ganas. Ganas is basically personal blockchain for Ethereum development. So you can see the contract and deploy your application over it, and you can test it, and you can so basically Ganas also providing the very beautiful graphical interface. You can easily visualize that your first block, your second block, first block, second block, third block, and so on. And also you can visualize your logs as well. So that's why we are using the Ganas. It's very easy to develop. And one most important part of the Ganas is actually, so most important part is here. You can see the like by default it's giving the 100 result by default for the development. So once you do the reset, automatically 100 will get it. So these are the, and one is the case application that actually running. Once you start the Ganas, automatically is running. And second, this is ATAL, is nothing but that is the user. Instead of the ATAL, you can use Eclipse also, and Visual Studio, if you are much more comfortable with the Visual Studio, you can install the Visual Studio. Visual Studio. You can, you can run the code, you can write the code here. So these are the things. So yeah, Bharat, do all the setup there. So can you jump and you can go there? Hi, Bharat.
Yeah, yes, Krishan. Yes, setup is ready.
Okay, setup is ready. Fine. So just I have to let you complete. So this is the game installation part. You can see that installed over time to use some construction part. Yeah, so installation over the IoT development kit. This is the Ethereum Jacon. Earlier I told, right? Ethereum Jacon RPC. So this library is required for you once you want to interact with the verify to the server, then it's required to use the Jacon library for communicating to the server. So this is the Ethereum network connection. And that installation for zero is installed Jacon RPC. Correct? And the last one is the code for temperature and humidity sensor. That is the library required to do this install adapter. Might be thought with explain this one, what is the pseudo bit hardware side, and remaining is that the server side and console side. Again, I will come back. So meanwhile, you can see the demo how it works. Thank you. Yeah, Bharat, you can carry on.
Okay, sir. Yeah, Krishan. Okay, fine.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay. So let me share my screen. Okay. So I think you are able to see my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, Bharat. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes,
Okay. Okay, I think. Okay, anyhow, just I want to review the what Krishan wants to give the demo here is the demo is about resembling one automobile system. So for example, in a car, I want to connect a car parts to the blockchain. That means whenever a new car I bought it, each and every part of your car is monitored by the sensors, so that for example whenever you are moving here, suddenly some accident happen, so that what happen here, some parts of your car might be damaged, so that damage is also going to be recorded as a transaction in the blockchain. So that what happen, what is the advantage of this, each and every movement of the car is going to be tracked by the blockchain. So because of that, whenever that particular car is going to be buy by other people, whenever they are buying second time, then the people will know that how many times this car will be gets happened with the accidents, how many parts of the car will be changed again and again. So some type of information available for the next person. So that is what the exactly the demo here is. So in this particular demo, we are reading the using temperature sensor for indicating the wheel damage. So for example, let us assume that this demo is just give a sample method how we can implement the sensor to the blockchain. So here, for example, here we are using the temperature and humidity sensor. This sensor will connected to a wheel. For example, let us assume that this sensor is connected to a wheel. So then whenever something happened to the wheel, generally that will get more heat. In the normal case, it will not generate more heat. But whenever something damage happen in the wheel, it will generate more heat. So that what happened here, this heat will be consumed by the temperature sensor, and whenever this heat is continuously getting overheat, then automatically it will inform the same things to the transaction. So that what happened here, the wheel gets damaged at this particular place, so that particular transaction is going to be stored in the blockchain. So that what happened here, the what is the advantage, next time the people will know how many things will be happen to the car. So that is what the basic demo intention here is. Let me know how many of you know about the truffle framework and Ganache tool. Can you small information, can you give the small information so that I can quickly show you the demo? Okay, so yes, so you have some idea about the Ganache tool and truffle framework. So okay, right, that's fine. Then my job is very easy now. So here in this particular case, what I'm doing here is that let us see this here. I opened a command prompt here, PowerShell. I opened a PowerShell here, and I'm sorry, the font is a little bit small, but here I started my tuple framework here, so that I migrated my tuple framework earlier, and as well as I started my JavaScript file npm run development environment I started. So here in the PowerShell, through PowerShell, I started the development environment, and after this I started Ganache tool. So let me show you the Ganache tool here. So this is my Ganache tool, so that it will keep, so whatever the transactions that are happen here, so that it will update your amount over here. So what is the amount taken by the transaction and all these things. So that block explorer, it will act like a block explorer, so that it will show the balance over here. And the third one here is that I started here, this one is registered my tuple framework GUI. This is, so using this tuple framework, whatever the I started earlier, if I type my IP address :3000, so this is what I'm getting GUI. So that what happened here, here what it is showing here, what is the contract address of your particular blockchain, and in this particular blockchain we can register some machine IDs. So what are these machine IDs? For example, my ID is wheel1. So wheel1, I'm wheel1 ID, for example, car part, one of the part is wheel, so I'm taking wheel1. I'm giving some description about that wheel1 health information. So what is this ID is giving? That wheel1 health information means whether wheel is damaged or not. So that is some information is going to be give wheel1 health information. And which is the what is the vehicle? Here it is, let's take Toyota. Vehicle name, some which vehicle and which part of the vehicle, for example Toyota car, and in that wheel1 ID. So just I want to register this ID, sorry, vehicle ID should be in the number. So let us give some number over here. So let us give some number here and register. Now what happened here, I registered with some ID here. See, what is the vehicle ID? This is the vehicle ID 1600. So let us test some I want to do some test operation here, whether this information is reaching to the blockchain or not. So let us do some small test, like my first health information, so like wheel health information. So just I'm doing some, sending some dummy information. First wheel health info, I'm just sending some dummy information from here. So see, now it is reaching here. So it is registered in the, it is timestamp is showing that it is 11:21 at this particular time we have one transaction. So now what I want to do here is that I want to run a program so that it will continuously monitor the temperature and that send information to the blockchain. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, can you show the Ganache also? So how block is added one by one?
Yeah. So here I will show that Ganache also. See, this is not restarted. Yeah, it is. See here, earlier it was 7, it is there, and now it is becomes 9 over here. So you can transaction count, it is earlier. So we'll see after we'll do the transaction from the kit. We'll see the output over here. Okay, so let me open my Raspberry Pi. What I'm doing now, let me open my Raspberry Pi here. See, what is the part ID that earlier I have given is a 1600. So I'm just doing a modification in the program that my machine ID, that otherwise it is a part ID. The part ID that I'm doing here is a 1600. Okay. This is my contract address. You can verify that. This is lastly 8B0. So this is the same contract address that we have here, 8B0. So for this same contract, we are trying to send the health information of the wheel. So let us change the machine ID. Machine ID is 1600, so I changed the machine ID here. Now what I'm doing here is that I'm continuously reading the temperature information. See here, this particular statement, I don't want to discuss a complete program, just here. See, if temperature is greater than threshold temperature, what is the threshold temperature I set here is, if the temperature threshold is 20 degrees, if it is more than 20 degrees continuously, then it will give some transaction alert. So let us see that. So if it is temperature is greater than 20 degrees for how many times? 6 times. If it is a temperature is greater than for 20 degrees for 6 times, so then it will give the information that temperature is greater than threshold, and it will send the information here. You can observe this. I'm using a function called c.call with transaction. So this is a function where the sensor information is sending to the blockchain. So what I'm using in this, I'm using the what is my basic coin base, what is my basic coin base, and what is the contract address of this particular account, and what is the timestamp. TS is for timestamp here. You can see this here, TS is the timestamp, and also I'm sending which machine ID, because just now I registered the machine ID of 1600. Before sending the information, first you have to register that machine ID in the blockchain, and then we are sending this particular information to the machine ID. What is the information that I'm sending? Wheel 1 is getting heat. What is the information I'm sending here? Wheel 1 is getting heat. Why it is getting heat? Because temperature is greater than the threshold. That means that the wheel is getting heat whenever it is damaged only. So if it is not damaged, it will not get heat. So if it is heating, means definitely the wheel is damaged. So something like that. It is not a exact I'm telling, just it is a prototype. I'm just doing a prototype. So in this program, I want to read the temperature sensor value and compare that with the threshold value. If the temperature is greater than 20 degrees for 6 times, because immediately I don't want to confirm that it is damaged immediately. I want to wait for some time whether really it is because of wheel damage or some other purpose, that we have to see. So that's why we have to wait for few times whether it is heating or not. So when if it is continuously get heating temperature, then we have to inform to the blockchain. So let me run this program over here. So let me run this program. See here, it is showing that temperature is 29 degrees, but what is our condition? 20 degrees only. So that means temperature is greater than 29 degrees for 1, 2, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Yeah, 6 times. So completely 6 times we are reading the temperature as a, now what happened here, temperature is greater than threshold and it is sending some transaction over here. Temperature is greater than threshold and it is sending some transaction. So let me see that whether it is really affecting in sending the information to the blockchain here. So let me minimize this. Let me minimize this. And let me show that whether it is affecting here or not. So let's refresh this. See, we are getting the message here, wheel 1 is getting heat. That means what we are doing here, we are monitoring the health of the wheel continuously. So whenever we are getting some abnormal heat in the wheel, then automatically it is indicate that wheel is not good, so it is damaged. So like that, those type of transactions are going to be, see, I'm just showing some sample here, but in original case we'll use multiple number of sensors to monitor the health of the car, and all the health of will be in the blockchain. So that what happen here, whenever any next person is coming to buy that particular car, he will see the history of the car. So how many times, how many damages this car faced earlier, how many accidents this car faced, how many times tire has been changed, how many times something has been happened. So like that, these things will be clearly sent to the, so this is what our main intention is, that we are sending the reading the information from information onto the this particular blockchain. So let me quickly stop this program. Okay, so similarly, I want to show one more thing here. It is that one more program. So similarly, I want to start one more program, that agri-food. How that food industry, how they are monitoring the sensors and how they are sending the sensors information to the particular thing. So, but to perform this particular action, we have to change all the truffle and all these things. So let me go to here. Let me go to here. Just a minute. So here, let me go to the PowerShell here. So these are all the earlier that I run the dev environment for the automobile, that car system. Now I want to just move out of from this, just Control C. Yes, I want to quit from here, and I want to do a migration again for the. So let me enter into the food industry folder. This is my food industry folder that I'm entering into some smart food industry folder. So let me enter, and here start the truffle again. Truffle, migrate. I think these concepts you already know about that. I think I'm just in restarting my truffle here, truffle, and restart. So once truffle gets restarted, and also we have to get restart the Ganesh tool here. So just I'm restarting the Ganesh tool also. So now it is restarted to 100 balance. Earlier the balance was different, and now it is getting back to the 100 rupees. Sorry, 100 ethers. Okay, and let me quickly run the this one PowerShell. Okay, so it is giving some error. So let me quickly remove that error. So go to downloads, because earlier it was running with some other application. So we have to do some modifications in the earlier program. So we have to just remove this build here. Remove this build here, and go back to PowerShell, and just truffle migrate again. Just I'm doing the truffle migrate again. See, our concept is very simple. Just we want to read some information from the sensors, and we want to send this information to the existing blockchain methods. So what are the existing things are there? Just we are trying to send this information to the existing blockchain. So here I'm just running the dev environment, npm run dev environment. So once dev environment is running, see here, earlier it was showing that smart firmware. So after changing this PowerShell, it will change the heading over there. Yeah, now it is compiled successfully. Now let us go to the here and refresh it. See, now it is automatically changed to agri-food supply management. So this is what earlier it was smart firmware. Now it is automatically changed to agri-food. So because this is my other application. So let me quickly take one product ID. So let us take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, what is my product name? So for example, I want to transfer some lemons. I want to transfer some lemons. So it is given by some manufacturers, some name of the farmer. Yeah, some farmer name. Okay, I'm giving my name itself. So this is given by the farmer. So let us register that. So now it is registered. Let us test it here itself. First locally we'll test it. Lemons are good. Yeah, lemons are good. So just request one transaction here. Yeah, it is taking that lemons are good here. So it is taking the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let us go to the next program here. So that now I want to see the temperature of these lemons, whether lemons are good or sorry, I want to use some gas sensor and also I want to use some temperature because lemons might be might not be put in the heat environment. So something like that, we'll always try to gather the information about the temperature and the gas quantity. So let me open my Raspberry Pi here. So let me open the second program here, whatever that we are doing. I'm sorry, we are getting late. So let me open my second one. This is my agrifood.py. So in this case, what I'm my product ID is 1234567, and my contract address is same. That is B0, same address, contract address I'm using, and I want to send the information to the this particular thing whenever something abnormal happen. So let us run the program first. So let us see here. So it is calculating the temperature, and I'm sorry, I didn't connect the gas. I'm connecting the gas and the moisture levels and all these things. See now, yeah. Now humidity is greater than threshold, and all these things. Now it is seeing that humidity is greater than threshold. So let us see that whether it is affected over here or not. So see, agree farm humidity is crossed the threshold. So like that, something happened inside the that food container. So that all the food container will be contain the sensors, like always it will measure the temperature of the food, and always it will measure the gases around the food. So like that, it will measure everything, and it will give information for the these particular things. And also you can see that all these things are see here, earlier it was the transaction is 100 ethers, now it is 99.87 ethers. So almost we have 10 transactions. See, count is increasing here, 10, and next it is 11. So if you click on this,
You can show the block, how blocks are.
sorry. Okay, so here we are showing that block 13, block 14. So something like that, what are the transactions that happen? So all the blocks are going to be uh, consequently shown over here. So like that, what happened here, every information about the food industry is going to be measured by the sensors, and all those sensors information we are able to convey to the blockchain. See here, 14th 15th block also added. So something like that, this information is continuously stored in the blockchain. So of course here for demo purpose we are always showing the threshold is greater than, but for in the original, whenever it is damaged, then only the transaction will be reached to the blockchain. So this is our demos. So I'm sorry, we are very sorry. I think it is a little bit went very fast.
One is the folder hierarchy, so they can understand this. This one is the front end, this one is the back end.
Sorry, Krishan. We are not able to hear your voice.
Okay, can you repeat? Can you show the folder hierarchy, like where the project is? Can you open in the Atom and you can show it?
Okay, so
Yeah, these are the folders.
you want to open that in the Atom?
Yeah, it is first one, then other one.
No, I think these concepts they already have. I think only thing is that only thing